Afternoon, everybody. How are you all doing? Everybody had a good morning? Been very busy this morning. Very busy. Really good morning this morning. So I'm not going to do futures this afternoon. I do not want to give all that money back. I've had a good morning on the futures. Lucky morning, I should say, but partly lucky, partly planned. Just start off with news. We just had this news which just tanked the market at just gone 1 o'clock. So the separatist leaders have told the women and children to exit Ukraine. So they're evacuating the vulnerable into Russia. So it looks like they know obviously something is coming. So it doesn't look good. And as somebody said this morning, it's likely to wait until Sunday until the games are over in China. So Russia doesn't upset China. So try and get as flat as you can before we have some kind of kick-off for the war. Obviously, it's not going to be good for business. Afternoon, Adrian, Gregory, Neo, afternoon. So obviously that news came out and it tanked the indices. So the DAX I was on at the time, I just got on it actually, and then it went boom, and then zoom. Lovely big drop. But I was playing the gap fill. You see I've banked a ridiculous amount of money this morning. Sometimes, I was just saying in the Telegram group, you get lucky sometimes. And that was a really nice trade. I was trading 0.5%. I had 2 positions on. And it tanked. And the EA basically just scaled me into the position on the way down. I already had 12% or 15% or something in the bank from my overnight trades. So yeah, just killed it. Absolutely killed it. And then on the futures, I've done £1,000 on the futures as well. So $1,800 day. Not a bad day at all. Although this isn't real money because this is my evaluation account. If I was trading my Apex account, this would be real money. But stupidly, I'm trying to pass another trial. So, yeah. But anyway, yeah, grand towards the total anyway. So that puts me up to $2,500 on a $9,000 target. So that's not too bad. On the way, getting there. Afternoon, Trevor. Mark, afternoon. Watch the scalping EA. I'll be buying it. Good. It's not finished yet, but I'm not getting any feedback from anybody on that, by the way. That video was designed to for me to get some feedback on the E, and everybody's just said, yeah, it looks great. So I assume it's exactly right. It does everything everybody wants, but I haven't had much feedback on it. But anyway. So we had a big drop on the DAX. We had a big drop on all the indices. So the DAX, I was playing the gap fill basically. I've been scalping this short all day basically. So we opened up. I scalped that. I got taken out there for about break even, little loss. I tried to get in again. Got taken out for a bit of a loss. Then I got in and made a bit of profit. Then I got in here, made a bit of profit. Then I got in, and I've been scaling in basically, making tiny little bits of profit, waiting for this gap fill. And then, of course, that was my last position, as you can see there. And then, obviously, the gap fill happened, and then it went, no, I'm going way beyond the gap. So really nice, nice lucky one that was this morning. So yeah, tanked across the board. The US dollar hasn't done anything. We have had a little bit of a movement up on the Dixie, not a massive amount. If we look at lower time frame, you can see we've had a fairly decent push during London, but we haven't really gone anywhere. If you look at the Asian high, we basically nipped out the Asian high and popped back in again, and now we're back out the Asian high. This is a positive reaction off the back of that news. It seems to me that the US dollar is pumping every time we get news of invasion. So I think anything you are holding long against, you're holding US dollar long against anything, is probably going to be okay if Russia goes in, because it seems every time we get some news about it looks like it's kicking off, we're getting positive movement. So looks to me like that's the reaction that we will expect, but we'll see. Mark, psychologically, it's very difficult to scale into winners. Yes, it is very difficult to scale into winners. That's kind of partly why I put that into the EA. I struggle with it as too, but I do it. But it's hard. You see me do it in the futures. I mean, I add to my positions. It makes you want to get out quicker because your average comes down. I'm used, as you know, as a position trader, I'm used to scaling in as price moves against me and averaging into positions ready for a move. To add when price is going my way and my trade is going my way is counterintuitive to most people, because if I get in here and I add a position here, instead of my entry being there, my entry is now there, which makes it much quicker for the market to take me out. So those pullbacks get me back to break even much faster when I've got two positions on. And psychologically, that's very hard to hold. So when price returns to your original position, you're actually in drawdown. So it is a very difficult thing to do. But from the simulations I've been doing with the EA, scaling in fast and hard is the best thing to do. When you catch that, if you get in there and you catch two good solid candles in your direction and you've scaled in like that, by the time you're up there, you're 1.5% up plus. And that's the trick to it, is to catch those positions where you get those pumps. And that's exactly what I caught, as you see there. That's exactly what I caught here. I got in there, the EA got me in there, it got me in there, it got me in there, it got me in there, and it got me out the whole lot down there. Yeah, so I entered that. I didn't touch it. It did all that. You can see from the P&L. That was my entry, that market sell. These were auto ads. All just TP'd. And I adjusted the TP as well. I pushed the TP down. So, yeah. But you can do that with EA. That's why I built it. You can press a button and then just immediately adjust your positions. It's awesome. Bigger buttons, possibly. Antonius. Yeah, I could do bigger buttons on it. The problem with bigger buttons is, I've renamed it buttons, by the way, talking about buttons. This is the latest version called buttons. It's the same EA. I don't know what I'm going to call it, but so I've just called it buttons. It's development name. But the problem with bigger buttons is, that's fine. Yeah. With this arrow all the way, this is as far to the right as you can get it. Yeah. If you scale down to a half-sized chart, you watch what happens to price. Yeah, it moves over. So as a half-screen chart, that's really about as big as I want to go with the buttons. If we make the buttons bigger, you'll need to see less chart, which is fine. But I think with most people, they will want... you kind of want it tucked away. You don't need them bigger than this. I mean, if you look at the actual one trade buttons, they're massive. They're way too big. This is, look at the size of a mouse. It's bigger than a mouse pointer. I think that's big enough. But, anyway, we'll play with that. Just shut that down. Right. Because it's got auto trading turned on. Did it? Actually, didn't enter any trades. Need to double check that. Right. We're all going to wait until you release the EA, then moan like crazy. Yeah, of course you will, Gary. That's what everybody does. Every time I release a product, it's never right. I was talking to my spinning instructor about this yesterday. She's been on holiday recently, and we all moan about the cover because they're not as good as her. And, we've come to the conclusion that you just can't please everybody. Yeah. She goes and covers. She's a brilliant instructor. She's been doing it all her life. She goes and covers for somebody else's class in another gym, and they all moan about her. She's brilliant. But it's just people don't like deviation from the norm. And also, everybody's slightly different. So you're never going to please everybody. And I've learned that now. And this is why I make enemies in my Telegram group. Not enemies, but people who disagree with me in my Telegram group. Because I build it for me to do what I need it to do. And I've been trading a long time and I think I know what I'm doing. So if somebody comes up with something and says it needs to do this, it's rubbish if it doesn't, I'll probably disagree because I think the other way. But if I build it for everybody, you will have literally 500 inputs in it, and it will not run in the strategy tester because it won't be able to paint one candle every 10 minutes because there'll be far too much code in there, you know, so you just can't win. So it is what it is. I've put out a video for an hour and a half and said to everybody, let me know if there's anything you want or don't want in this EA. And if nobody says anything when I release it, you cannot moan at me. All right? I've said it. So yeah, there you go. Paul, first time in here. Which EA is this, please? It's a new one I'm developing, Paul. I'll show you it in a minute. I'm going to scout with it this afternoon instead of doing my futures account, so you'll see it in action. But it's a new one in development. It's kind of a toolbox EA. Call it Samson, yeah. Samson, the strong EA. For me, those buttons look sizable. Yeah, I think they're big enough, but we'll see. Right, let's have a look at the markets, see what's been going on. So, Dixie, because the market opens in just over 15 minutes. So, Dixie, we've got no movement yet. I'm still looking for this stop hunt. We're not getting it. So, with what we've just had come out of Russia, out of the Ukraine news this morning, potentially we could see some movement up. We've seen big drop on the indices. The Dixie tends to do the inverse to the indices. So as we've had a drop on the indices, I'm expecting US dollar push this afternoon. I'm expecting further downside on the indexes. So I'm not sure we're going to get this liquidity run, but there's no news catalyst this afternoon either to drive it down to here. I really want to see that liquidity taken because there's so much sitting there. And what I don't want to do is get them to take that liquidity and then drop it, because that's going to obviously screw up my bias on the indices. So I can't do anything about it. Obviously, it'll do what it does, but it doesn't look like they're coming down for it. So bullish on Dixie this afternoon. And bearish on the indices. So there's one to get into there. Let me I'm just going to quickly enter a position on that. Just before market open, I just want to get one on. 1 sec. Just need to set this up quickly because I've got to turn off all the auto trading. Risk go 0.5%. What else do I need to turn on? Targets. Percentage exits. Let's go for 3. Trading stops off. Scaling in on and scale in on candle close. So, okay, so just taking a single initial position on that. I just like this pullback, basically. That's between a 38 and a 50 retracement on that move. So it's bang on 50. Just like the look of that. It's worth a quick 0.5% shot on that. Just pop that down there for a minute. So indices short. ADRs this morning, we haven't had an awful lot. The two that we had this morning was the Aussie dollar Swiss, which was ADR high, and it popped straight up, straight off, and back down. So if you got into that one this morning, well done. Aussie dollar yen, same thing, straight off of ADR, 100% straight down. New Zealand dollar Swiss, we didn't quite get to 125. The reversal alert was there, or was it there? No, it was there. That was a reversal alert there. So you got that much out of it so far, which is not really a lot. 15 pips, so about a quarter of an ADR. That one hasn't gone as far. And the New Zealand dollar yen, again, same thing with that one. So the New Zealand dollar is still strong. Likelihood is they're going to come do this gap fill. So at the moment, we're kind of basing out there. We need to break this low. If we break this low, we're down for this gap fill down to here. So it's kind of halfway through, but these weren't the best ADRs to hit today. So weeklies, we can ignore all of those because obviously we are now end of the week. It's Friday. And all the monthlies we've already covered, but we are 3/4 of the way into the month. These have already played out, all these euros, so there's nothing to look at there. So that's the ADRs today. There's nothing new on ADR so far today. The pounds have got a little bit close, but nothing else. You can keep an eye on those. 4-hour RSI extensions. We've still got the euro odd. So that is still pushing hard. The Aussie dollars are having a good day. So the euro, obviously, why is that open to new chart? Go away. So I think with these euro, the euro odd and the euro New Zealand, they are both really, really extended, but they are both completely counter trend. So we looked at these yesterday and I said I don't like them because I'm short the euro. We got that tiny little pullback and we've dumped again today. Same with the euro New Zealand. So they are very, very extended now. If they get to 75, 25, which there is a good possibility if we get a little bit more of a push down on the open, they're going to be good little reversals. But again, just don't expect much out of them. Somewhere into the support rectangle, that's really all you're going to get. So those two aren't the best in the world at the minute. New Zealand dollar CAD is very, very nicely extended. Now, this is a long, obviously, at the moment from a COT bias perspective. So it's kind of counter trend for me. But like I said this morning with this one, difficult one because we've got Canadian dollar news coming up. In fact, what time is... We've had that, haven't we? Oh, no, it's not today, is it? Yes, it is. Yeah, 1:30. We had the CAD news at 1:30. Sorry. It was mixed. So, yeah, we didn't get that move off the CAD. Yeah. So, we didn't get the move off the CAD. So, what I was kind of alluding to this morning was obviously we are bearish on this. We're in a big downtrend, but obviously since the COT report flipped long on the New Zealand dollar, we've had some decent moves on it, and potentially we're going to continue to slow grind up. But this is the perfect spot for a collapse. Obviously 72.24 moving averages will push price back down again. So it's whether or not we're going to get this kick back down towards the the 24 and then bounce up, or whether we're going to come down and try and do a little double bottom and consolidate and push up again. But either way, this is getting extended. It's a real slow mover. And I don't like this candle because we had a nice big profit take candle there. So this move here has had a bit of a profit take on it. And we're now pushing up again. So you can kind of say this is probably one move which may well extend. But obviously the more it extends, the more expanded and stretched out it gets, the quicker that snapback is going to be when we get the profit take move. Yeah. So this one looks okay as a short opportunity, but it is counter COT, but it is pro trend. So it is a bit of a flip of a coin. This one M15, you're just about to get an entry on it, literally about to get an entry within 10 minutes. So it's a difficult one to call, but I think you'll probably get a decent sort of half an ADR to an ADR out of it. So there's plenty of targets to the downside to aim for to come and fill in these gaps. So it looks pretty good. But that's all there is on 4 hour. Nothing else new today because obviously we haven't had anything. Obviously most of the market is driven by the US dollar and the US dollar sideways. So it has been all week. Yeah. So we had this push down on Tuesday and since then we've been in accumulation. waiting for the next move. So we did the accumulation, pop, pullback, accumulation, push. So we will be pushing, but when, I don't know. And obviously it's going to be a lot dependent on Russia. So Trevor, functionality is great. I think the challenge will be the users understanding how to configure it. Oh, what, the new EA? I'll do a video obviously on it, and I'll do a manual for it, but it's really easy to configure. You don't need to do anything really. If you want to auto trade with it, yeah, but you know, you have to have brain power in this job. The amount of people that DM me questions, and I kind of look at the question and think, my 10-year-old would know that. You have to question as to whether or not trading is the right job for some people. Not being nasty to anybody at all in particular, obviously, but you know, sometimes people ask questions and you just think, whoa, you're never going to make it. Anyway, so that's all the H4s done. The hourlies, we got the same thing. Euro New Zealand, massively extended. We got lovely tweezer bottoms going in. We had tweezer bottoms going in earlier as well, but we've got another pair going in now. So looking good down here on M15. Hourly, nice extension. We had this Euro New Zealand, obviously we zoomed in on what we were looking at on H4 a minute ago. That's what you got. That is literally all you got as a pullback. So if you're going to get into this, don't get too excited about a massive profit take move on this. So just be careful. New Zealand dollar CAD is the only other hourly you've got. Again, nicely extended. We have had a good profit take on that. So yeah, H4 and H1, it's the same stuff. Yeah, so nothing much out there, is there? All a bit rubbish today. But as I say, everybody's on tenterhooks at the moment, waiting to see what happens with Russia, as I say. So the pairs that are not being affected are the Australasians. So US dollar, yen, and you know, pound and everything is all going to move off of war, and the Swiss francs especially. The rest of them should be fairly unaffected, but obviously indices will be affected badly. We've got 6 minutes to the open, so we'll quickly whiz through and have a look at the indices and old crypto. So crypto's coming down, obviously, because it's linked to the indexes now. So same happening there. Beautiful M pattern at the 72, and hopefully a decent drop on that one. Just get rid of that 20. Don't need that. So looking at the indices yesterday, blimey, this chart needs to clean up. So we got the 3-bar reversal yesterday. That was a hell of a move. That was. I wasn't expecting it to get that far, and it did, which is good because it bolsters my bear market outlook at the moment on the indices. So initial move down, pullback. We've gone perfectly into bearish market structure, looking for a low break of there today. My play today was to short it at the highs, which I've been doing, and it's played out perfectly. Play this afternoon is to continue shorts to break that low. So that's what I'm looking for this afternoon, is a break of that 14,036 level. On the S&P, same thing, looking for a break. We've actually almost touched it on the S&P of the 4360 level. Ultimate target obviously is the most recent low. And the Dow, we've already done it. So the Dow is ahead of everything at the minute. So market structure is looking very nice and bearish across the board. So looking for a continuation, basically 2 to 3 down days. How big they'll be, don't know. And obviously it's going to very much depend on what happens with news. So this is what's happened today on these indices is a prime example of why I've got the EA turned off at the moment. That I was on the right side of that, which was lovely. If you're on the wrong side of that in a position, it's not going to be lovely. And this was not, nothing's happened here. This is a speculative separatist leader saying that he's starting to evacuate women and children. That's what the market does off of that. When that button is actually pushed and Putin says, let's go, you just don't want to be the wrong side of anything. So scalping with stops at the moment, just to keep the risk as tight as possible. So that's it on indices. Gold, if anybody's anybody trading gold? I've been saying to long gold for the last week when I've covered it. I don't cover it very often. We have made those new highs now. This is your target. Whenever we have a risk off scenario where there is fear in the market, which there is at the moment with what's going on with Russia, we tend to get accumulation into a tangible asset, gold being one of them, obviously. So anything that is solid, you can hold, tends to go up in price. So we're getting that push at the moment off of that. We've got very good divergence with the US dollar index at the minute. US dollar index is sideways, gold is flying. So it's nice to see gold moving on its own. Obviously, it's crossed with the US dollar. When we get that powerful US dollar move starting, we will see obviously a dip in gold, but likely just to be a pullback and continuation. So we're very nicely extended at the moment on gold. But the reason I don't trade gold is because it doesn't really play by the rules. As you can see, we got nicely extended down there, had a little pullback, and then we just did something like that. You don't want to be, again, the wrong side of that. So we've broken out the range very considerably now. So I think what we're going to start to see now on gold is an uptrend. So looking for pullbacks to the 24, pullbacks into the support rectangle and longs. But obviously you need to be very careful of these highs up here, which we're approaching now. So probably a little bit more movement up today, maybe 100, 125, maybe 150 ADR, and then pull back from the top. That's it on that. So futures account. I've banked $1,000 already. A bag of sand in the bank this morning. Shorting this again. Basically, I was playing the same thing on this one. I was shorting the gap. It took forever. I was on it there. I got on it. Was it on it there? Yeah, I was. I was on it from the open. So I was on that. I made some money on that. I lost a bit there. I lost a bit there. Made some there. Lost a bit there in accumulation. Got into 3 contracts short there. Got out of the contracts there. And then it went like that. So if I'd have held that, that would be saying something in the region of 7,000 to 10,000. But I didn't. I got out here. No, it wouldn't be that big, actually. It'd be more like 3 to 5K. But I didn't hold it. With futures, it moves so fast. When you get a bag in the bank, you take it. Otherwise, you give it back. Very easy to give it back, as is happening at the moment. Got a little bit of volatility. Oh, the market's just open, that's why. Right, so I'm just going to switch over. Actually, I might stay here in scalping mode. Might as well just stay on this layout. I'll open another chart. Just so I can see what is going on with the NAS. So one sec, what am I trying to do here? I'm not very well prepared for this because I wasn't planning on doing this, but hey, what the hell. So looking for pushes, pushes and drops basically. So buy the rip, sell the rips. Obviously initially looking for push up into here and into potential resistance, and then looking for short opportunities. So I'm just going to be shorting on here basically. Might as well just play the DAX this afternoon. They're all going to move in the same way. ignore all this down here. This is all rubbish. Let me just shut my futures down. I'm not going to trade that. I'm going to close it completely just so it's gone. Otherwise, I will open it up and start trading it, and I don't want to. So I've got the 5-minute opening range. I'm going to switch down to M1. The 5-minute opening range will get automatically drawn in for me. I've got candlestick patterns drawing automatically as well for me. Let me just see what I've got set up. Hang on. Make sure everything's auto trading off. So I'm using the 50 MA for directional bias. I'm looking at strong closes, 2 inside bars, long wicks, equal level signals and bearish engulfings, scaling in 50 apart, no trailers. Might put a trailer on actually. Starts at 4, 200 trail by 4. That's fine. Auto exit at 3%. Okay. We're off. There goes. So the EA's just taken a second position for me automatically there because this candle is closed and it's more than 50 points from my initial position. So it's scaling in for me automatically. And obviously I'm trading the 1-minute chart at the minute at the open. Normally I would trade the 5-minute chart, but usually trade 1 minute at the open. Text coming down nicely. I might quickly open Dow so I can watch that as well. Third position gone in. Okay, I got 1% gain. Nearly. There's 1%. Another position in. So I'm going to close out my biggest position. That's the 5-minute opening range drawn in now. So there's the opening range high and the low of the 5 minutes. The EA will auto trade this if you want it to, but obviously I'm manually trading at the minute. Just coming down to support there. So 136.6. And NAS just watching this level in case we get a bounce. Same on the Dow. See if we pop it. Okay, taken another position off there and just moved stops to break even. So those last 3 positions are risk free. See if we get a continuation push to the downside on it. I can't remember what that was before. Oh yeah, it's down here, isn't it? So I've closed $35 profit. Don't know what that is as a percentage. It's less than 1%. Isn't it? There goes, stopped out on the rest of those. So there's a 5-minute opening range in. So I'm going to flick up to the 5-minute chart. And now see where we go from here. So looking basically to see what happens after the first 5 minutes. If we get a break above, look for potential long pullback up to there and then a drop later. And if we get a break back below there, I'll be looking for shorts. So there you go. That's the new EA in action. That's how you can use it. Just quick, very, very, this is the whole thing about scalping, is this nimble flexibility. MT4 does not have that flexibility, that nimble. You can't just quickly whack buttons and get in and get out. And so here, like last candle and this candle, yeah, so if I want to put a sell stop underneath this candle, automatically done that, and it automatically put my stop there, automatically calculated my stop loss based on my risk percentage, and automatically put my TP in for me. Very, very quick. That's what you got to just be quick. And if I decide actually I don't fancy it, cancel it, get it out all the way, done. You can't do this in MT4, and this is what it's lacking. Whereas in my Ninja Trader, obviously, I've got, well, in Ninja Trader, I've got 3 of those buttons. I've got buy, sell, and close. That's all I can do in there as well. So that's the whole point of this, to make it scalpable. Afternoon, Harry. Can we just look at New Zealand dollar CAD again? Yeah, I just covered this one. There is every opportunity, there is every possibility this is a liquidity run here, because we pushed up above this level and put a massive bearish move in. So everybody will have thought that is a liquidity grab, stop hunt, and we're going to drop because we're in a downtrend. They've come up this morning and taken everybody's liquidity, because obviously everybody that went in short there, their stops are here. They've just taken that. And we're nicely extended. So we're getting that nice M on the RSI, yeah? So there is a very good chance that we are going to get a pullback, but I think it's probably only going to be a pullback and push. I don't know though, so it's difficult. But yeah, I think we are due one. We're due a pullback. But I'm not, directional bias on this is very difficult, because obviously we are in a downtrend on this. It's obvious we're in a downtrend. It's been red for a long time. But the New Zealand dollar has flipped long on the cot, and we're putting in bullish market structure now. So it's a difficult one to call. So we hit support on the NAS. Inside bar at the moment on the DAX. Okay, so potentially going short. NAS is going short, definitely. Tempted to hit the button on this, but I kind of want to wait for a break. Okay, I'm going to take one short. This is a bit of an assumptive sell. I'm assuming we are going to break the opening range low. and head down to test this level initially. Nice bearish engulfing going in there. I've got today's target. I just realised I've got this that text on in the bottom corner. Obviously, it will stop trading at daily target. I've got my daily target set to 5%, which is $211. I've already banked 28% this morning. Oh, it's a lovely day. I like days like this. Don't come around very often. You have to soak them up. We're stalling at the lows on the DAX at the minute. Yeah, I mean, there's no. If you look at all the indices now we've broken there on the Dow. There's really nowhere to go. So assuming we do put a bear candle in today and we don't push back up, there's nowhere to go on the Dow. Literally, there's nothing that would act as support really until you get down to these wicks. So we got a nice long drop ahead on that at the moment. Obviously, we've still got to crack this level on the NAS, and then from there, obviously, we've got same thing. No real. Any one of these can act as support on the way back, but on the way down. But obviously, we would expect to go to the lows. So today, really, if we can get these levels broken today and held, it's a big old drop potentially. We're not getting the break of this 5-minute opening range here. I haven't got my counter on. Not that. I haven't downloaded it. Oh well, don't matter. Tell you what I'll do. I'm just going to keep an eye on this. Just going to put a timer over there just so I can see how long the candle. Normally I have a little timer up there that I got from the market, but I haven't downloaded it in this MT4. So. Ooh. I'm just adding another pending under here. I'm going to give this kind of half a candle. If it breaks back above and holds above there, I'm getting out of this one. But if this is just going to push up and then find sellers here, we should get a nice break of the opening range low. And if we get that break of the opening range low, we'll probably get a good couple of candles to come and test the low. So I'm going to enter another position down there. And then obviously it'll get me in with one or two more on the way down. But I need this to hold first. I want to get an inside bar. If this closes as a bullish candle, this is going to become a 2 inside bar signal. Be a 2 IB down there, which is basically a push, a pullback, and a push. And that'll be a 2 inside bar long signal. Still got 2.5 minutes left on the candle though, so if we start to break those highs, I'm just going to jump out of it, I think. Yeah. Don't like it. The NAS is attempting to push back up inside. I know we're a bit early. We've still got 2 minutes left on the candle, but we're basically putting in 20 minutes of accumulation here. So we're going to pop at some point, but I don't know which direction. We could well come up and just want to push again before a drop. Obviously, this was off of the news. So there is potential that the market is going to, this is an overreaction to the news, and the market is going to fade it. If you look at that on a higher time frame, I haven't got it on there. I was going to say, where's my gaps? Where are we? So yeah, there's every opportunity the market is going to want to fade back up into that accumulation and come up here first, and then sort out all the orders up here and then come back down, because obviously a lot of people got caught on the wrong side of that. They want to push it back up there potentially. So we'll see. I don't know quite which way we're going to go off the open. Got the open right, but it doesn't look like at the moment it's necessarily going that way. Nice big bullish engulfing. So again, we'll get a bullish engulfing signal on that. I've just realised I've got the EA. These signals are wrong. I'm using the same magic number. I'm using the same magic number on this as I am on one of my other terminals. So this on my other terminal on 101 is running on a different pair, which is why you're seeing a bullish engulfing signal when it's not a bullish engulfing, and a long wick signal when there's not a long wick. So you have to ignore these for a minute. In fact, what I might do is just change the magic on this to something else. That'll do. There we go. So that is a proper bullish engulfing. I was looking at it thinking, that's not a long wick. It's a bit of a wick, but it's not a long wick. And that certainly is not a bullish engulfing. That's an inside bar. Okay, we're breaking out the opening range high. So initial target there, potentially reaching to see if we can find some sellers up here. So we've got 9 minutes until this candle closes. And as this candle closes, if it closes where it is now, that is going to become a massive propulsion gap. So we'll be potentially pushing up into that, looking for sellers to continue the move down. Same as we did here. We pushed up into that gap to drop. But it's rejecting the highs. We're just mucking about at the moment in the opening range. Is Rahat in here? Haven't seen Rahat say hello today. Let me know if you're in here. Seeing as you were the one that wanted me to live trade with the EA this afternoon. Be nice of you to show up. So still trying to break that opening range high. 2 minutes left. Anybody in the UK got any wind damage yet? I went down to the seafront at lunchtime today with my kids. 80-mile-an-hour winds, very entertaining trying to stand up and lean against it. It was awesome. But all I can taste now is salt everywhere. It was very, very, very windy. But seen a few trees down, a few bins flying around up and down the roads. Lamppost down. So yeah, we're not used to wind like this. Very exciting. Obviously it's exciting at the moment until a tree comes down in my house, then obviously it's not very exciting. But fingers crossed. It's starting to die off a bit now anyway. 1 minute. So I'm going to enter along here. If we get this close. So if the EA was auto trading this for me, opening range breakout, which would be the New York initial opening range breakout, it would take an entry here when this candle closes because we're above that high, and it would place a stop at the opening range low and be looking for a quick scalp. So I'm going to kind of simulate that manually. By buying at the market and then putting the stop underneath the last candle, which is pretty much exactly where it would put it. So, Adrian, I'm in Sussex. Maidenhead, super windy, yeah. Yeah, super windy everywhere. Be good fun watching the news later. Okay, going long one. So a nice big wide stop. Not looking for a massive profit on this, but just looking for potentially a move up into this area. Give myself a decent amount of leeway. So looking for an opening range breakout, which either tends to go 1 or 2 candles after you get that close, or we get an opening range breakout ORB retest. In which case, obviously, it will pull back into here and then retest and then aim for those highs. But this could obviously just be continuation of market structure. Obviously, the market structure at the moment is potentially bearish, but it's also potentially in contraction in a symmetrical triangle. So we'll see where we go from here. But it's worth a punt, 0.5% long. Just a quick scalp. Hamza has just posted in the Telegram group, and on the 3rd day, the EA paid for itself. Awesome. Very nice. If you're not in the Telegram group, Hamza bought the EA 3 days ago, and which is $199. She's made $215 in 3 days. Sure she won't mind me trading, showing that. Assuming it's a she. Hamza? I don't know. Hamza? It's one of those names I don't know. Shouldn't assume, should I? That person. I trade this setup as a 1-2-3 pattern, Lorraine. Yeah, it is a 1-2-3 pattern. Symmetrical triangles, 1-2-3 patterns. It's all part of this. It's all the same stuff, basically. It's all market structure. Elliott wave is market structure. 1-2-3 patterns are market structure. Symmetrical triangles are market structure contractions. Fibs are market structure pullbacks. It's all market structure. So if you how you understand it is irrelevant. It's the best way you understand it. It doesn't matter which way. They all work really well. 1-2-3 pattern. A lot of people trade 1-2-3 patterns. I've traded 1-2-3 patterns in the past, and they're good. Some work, some don't. It's all the same. Doesn't matter what you use, how you get in the market. The market will go where the market will go. It's how you react when the market is moving, which is how you make and win money and reduce your losses, basically. If you think a 1-2-3 pattern isn't playing out, get out. Some will, some won't. Some will go straight away, like that trade I had today. Some will just go like the earlier trades I had today. I mean, I was in and out of this thing over and over again, and then you get that one. You know, it's all the same stuff. It's just, you need to try everything, and I'm a firm believer in trying everything. Finding what clicks with you. There will be something you'll try that clicks. Rahat, what a coincidence. I just joined and heard my name. It was late, stuck in traffic. So you missed the open. Why is that? This is part of why I'm using this. I'm just trying to find bugs. This isn't actually going to be here anyway. This is development stuff. I'm just wondering why that is an infinite number rather than a 0. Don't know what I've done there. Doesn't matter. I'm not. This won't be here. This is literally for me for testing purposes. Just so that I can monitor whether it's pulling out the right figures for the daily target. When you hit the daily target, I need to make sure that turns into a 1 and it stops trading. I need to make sure it's opening, it's managing profit figures correctly and combinations, etc. You won't need to see any of this. That's what you're interested in. Percentage gain on your account, not anything there. That'll all be gone. After finish this stream, we'll watch the missing part. Yeah, you haven't missed much. Well, you have missed much today. I've made an absolute fortune today. It's been a lovely day. But just took a couple of quick ones on the open. Good morning from the US. I've followed you for a little bit ever since seeing the market reversal alert in the marketplace. You said there was an EA for 199. So the market reversal alert EA, that is basically. So it's basically the market reversal alerts indicator. Yeah, which is what you're referring to. This indicator is being made into an EA, which basically auto trades. Mainly built it for me to do position trading, but obviously it automates anything. Go and watch the videos. There's some strategies there, position trading strategies that I use with the EA running them, and that is the settings video, which I think is about 2.5 hours long. Yeah, 2.5 hours. So go and get a cup of tea, maybe a whiskey if you want to watch that one, but that explains in detail everything about the EA. How it works, every setting, everything. But it's basically the market reverse alerts EA with loads and loads of filters to auto trade for you to make all your decisions. So go and have a look at that when you're ready. I'll send you the link. I'll put it in the chat. We've stalled out at these highs at the minute. A little bit of a pullback into support. 30s coming off of support as well. This might be turning bearish here. Might be the wrong side of this one. David, where can I see those videos? Is there a website? Can't find this EA in the marketplace. I've just put a link literally above where you've typed in the chat. There's a link above. This EA, this one is not for sale. You can't have this yet. It's not finished. It's in development. I'm talking about the market reversal alerts indicator. EA. That's been out for ages. That's a good point. I haven't looked at this month so far. So this talking about the market reversal alerts EA. The 4 strategies that I run. 3 strategies really that I run. H1M5. This is what it's done this month. Basically, H4M15, H4M15 trend pullbacks, and this is COT bias, H4M15 mean reversion. And we've got this Aussie New Zealand still running, still running. Hideous thing. Strategy quant EAs for any of you interested in the strategy quant EAs. 100 loss this week, not a lot. Down nearly $1,000 this month. That one. This one is down about 600 this month. We're in quite a bit of profit today though. Done $400 today. So I'm still testing these. These need a good 3 months of live forward testing. Then I'll see what the results are. But Strategy Quant basically is an EA creation tool. I've generated 150 strategies, which all pass many, many robustness tests. So I'm just running all 150 EAs to gather data on performance, basically. So all time 7% up so far and 9% down. So about break even for all 150. So I will pick the EAs out of that seem to be doing well, and then I'll run those live on an account. Do some proper live forward testing at some point. Martin, what would be the minimum equity needed to run the EA? I don't know. It depends what you do with it. It's not one of those EAs you stick on a chart and it makes you a millionaire. It's a toolbox EA. So I would recommend minimum of sort of 3 to 5k with any EA. I mean, you're not going to make a fortune with it. It's designed to generate somewhere between 5 to 10% per month per strategy. So it's a long-term winner, not. I mean, I've got people like Hamza is running it on a $500 account, which is now $756. So that's a 50% increase in 3 days. But that is aggressive. So you want to tone that down when it's started generating some money. But I recommend 0.01 lot sizing per $1,000 in your account with position trading. So if you want to trade sort of 6 to 8 pairs, I would start with somewhere between 3 to 5k. It depends what you want to make, though. I mean, I don't know what you want or need to earn. I've done a session on this before. The reality of trading is, unless you've got 50k in the bank, you will never make it as a professional trader. Because unless you only need to earn 500 quid a month to pay the bills, the mortgage, and to live off of, you need a massive starting capital to make money in this industry. Because no professional trader will ever turn around and tell you that they've made more than 20 to 30% a month, and they won't be able to sustain that unless they have some lucky months, or they're a scalper. Scalpers, if you've seen, this I've done 41% this month so far, scalping on this account. You can do this scalping, but my God, you'll be tired at the end of it, and you won't be able to keep that up for long. Long-term trading, you need more time. Hamza was using the hedging mode. Yeah, so Mark's just said Hamza was using the hedging mode. Hedging mode is much more risky because you are guaranteed to make money every day hedging, but you can get into drawdown if you get a squeeze on. So it's a much more risky strategy, but equally it will generate fast profits. This opening range break doesn't necessarily seem to be going anywhere at the minute. Just in your post, Trevor, and the Telegram group as well. Been a losing trader until doing the bootcamp using Lee's EA and tools. Never seen so much green. Can I show your P&L? I don't want to just show everybody's P&Ls just willy-nilly. But this is stalling out a bit. Nice double bottom going in. Haven't quite tested that wick yet. I'm assuming Trevor's in here. He was earlier. He's in mid-conversation in Telegram at the moment, so he's probably not listening to me. So that wick test there is kind of my line in the sand at the minute for this trade. Rahat, it's good to have information panel showing open profit, today's profit, combined profit, and magic number. Yeah, I can. I don't really want to though. This will skew you. This will psychologically affect you. This won't affect you psychologically. That will. So I don't. I mean, I can do. I can put. I can leave something like this in as a an option. Trevor says I'm allowed to show his P&L. So is that all using the EA, Trevor? Or it's position trading, obviously, but is it it's mostly manual or is that mostly EA? 20% all time, 19%. That's 10% this month, this week. It's good. 19% month is a very good month. 10 to 15% is my average month. I'm having a stormer this month across the board. Had a stormer already with the EA on position trading, and I'm having a stormer scalping as well. So milk it while you get it. Not all months are equal. But yeah, Rahat, with that, we've got ADR on pound Swiss. Looks like a little bit of Swiss franc strength coming through at the minute. I don't know if this is pound dropping. No, it's not the pound. So this is Swiss franc strength. Pound is a long bias. So this is potentially a good ADR reversal to take. We've got a nice level here. On the 4 hour. We've got really good potential support coming up, and we've got the 24 supporting us. So this looks like a potentially nice ADR long if you want to take this one. Obviously drop down to M5 and wait for a reversal alert. That looks pretty good. NAS is coming down. I think I'm going to cut this one in a minute. How long we got left? 3 minutes. Trevor, yeah, EA, RSI together with scalping in between. Cool. It's not always like this, damn it. Yeah, no, unfortunately not. I very, very rarely have a losing month. Very rarely. But I do have them. And most of the time when I have them, it's my fault. I'm just getting ready to cut this. I'm just hovering over the close button. So we just done a wick test on that. NAS is coming down hard. Dow's starting to roll over as well. So just waiting to see what happens with this candle close. Struggling. So yeah, Rahat, what I was just saying, I'm trying to concentrate on this and I'm trying to talk about this at the same time, but every time I go to talk about this, that makes me want to look at it. I don't really want to be in this trade. But every time I go and think I'm going to hit the close on this, it gives me a little bit of hope. And the NAS looks... We got equal highs here. But it seems there's a lot of absorption going on at the minute. It seems it's struggling. They're all struggling to get down. There's a lot of buying pressure, which makes me think that we are going to want to push again. And get up to these areas for a little bit more selling action, but it's kind of all teetering on the edge at the minute. So while it's looking bullish, I'll leave it where it is. I might get in one more. I might try another quick one here. With a decent sized stop on it. Just I'm adding to a loser basically, but I'm going to manually get out here if it does crack that level. But I'm adding in just to try and add some volume if we are going to get up to there. Stick my TPs in the middle of there. If we are going to get up to there, might as well have some size on, because the risk for me on this second position is literally nothing, a couple of pips, but my reward on this position is a lot. So that's why I'm adding to the loser there, because I'm almost at my kind of mental cut off here anyway. But this is all looking a little bit bullish over here. So right, now that's going, I can talk. So yeah, Rahat, what I was saying about this, the reason I don't like this is because money, when you see money, a profit figure, an amount in cash, it skews your decision-making processes. As human beings, we associate money with tangible objects. Yeah. So at the moment, I've got a cup of coffee in profit. If I am trading with a 100k account, that is no longer going to be a cup of coffee. That is going to be a weekend break. And mentally, you will attach yourself to monetary figures, and it makes it very difficult for you to scale your account up when you're concentrating on money. It's what we all want to do, but it's the wrong way to do it. What you should be concentrating on is percentage gain on your account. Whether I'm trading £100 account, £100,000 account, or £1 million account, the percentage gain on my account never changes. So if you focus on percentage gain, I'm just getting ready to exit this position. your psychology and your decision-making process on what happens, I'm getting out at 0.4 down. I don't know what that cost me. I have no idea. I don't care. But that's nearly 0.5% of my account there. That's why I closed that position. This should not make any impact. You shouldn't look at this. You should look at growing your account. If you want to grow your account by 1% a day, that's 20% account growth a month. It's really easy to get 1% a day. Really easy to make 1% a day. If you can do 1% a day, it's irrelevant what the balance is in your account, isn't it? But 1% a day for me at the moment is whatever that is. I'll have to wait for a trade before that'll update. But it's, that's maybe if I flick time frame, that'll update. No. That's what you shouldn't be looking at. So this is what this was, a 3K account. I don't know what it is now. It's 4.2 now. So 42 quid basically. $42 is 1% of my account. I shouldn't be looking for $42 gain. Do you see what I mean? I should be looking for 1% gain, because if I can do 1% gain on this account, on my 150k futures account, that's $1,500. But I concentrate on trying to make 1%. If I can make 2% a day, I'm making 40% a month. Think about the maths of that when you're running a 100k account. Yeah, so that's the way you should look at it, really, which is why I don't like putting this in here. But I'll put it in there if people want it. Today's percent or combined percent. Could do. This does look like it wants to come down. I'm just wary of shorting this at the minute. I'm going to go short. I'm seeing rejection on the Dow basically. Yeah, so this accumulation move has been rejected on the Dow. The Dow is the first one to get there. We're not getting there on the NAS, but we have put in a triple top. We're putting in lower highs at the moment. So I'm going to put a sell stop under where we are now, assuming this is going to be the next lower high, which means that we will be putting in a lower low, which means we should be able to break that level and aim for there. So that's the theory. Yeah, I can probably do that. Show percentages. I don't mind. It's what people want, but this game, whatever you want to call it, is all about psychology. You have no control over the market. I've got no idea if this is going up and down today. I haven't got a Scooby-Doo. I really don't. No one has. But I know that when it goes in my direction, I need to make money when it moves my way, and I need to grow my account by a certain percentage so that I can take home enough money to live on. So that's why I work in percentages. And as my account grows, yeah, let's say you traded this account. It was 3K when it started. Let's say I trade this account for 6 months, yeah, and I never, ever, ever look at the balance for 6 months. If I concentrate on that for 6 months and I make that 1% for 6 months, right, I wouldn't have a clue what the balance is on that account. But what I know it will be is way, 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 way bigger than when I started. If I try and make $50 a day, when it hits $50, I'm going to go close it. Brilliant. I've made my $50 a day. Then I'm going to see a really good setup and probably want to take another one. If I condition myself to making $50 a day, when I grow my account and now I need to make $100 a day, my brain will be conditioned to make $50 a day. And you'll find it very hard to make that leap from $50 to $100. You will never, ever have to change your outlook if you work in percentages. That's the main difference. And this is why, so many people, when I say it in the boot camp, I think it's on day one of the boot camp, forget pips, right? Forget you've ever heard the word pips. They don't exist. They're utter rubbish. Don't need them. What is a pip? What is it? It's a measurement of price movement up and down. Yeah, what's a pipette? It's a part of a pip. If you want to make 10 pips a day, go and trade the ZAR, press the button, and then close it 1 second later. You'll have made 10 pips. Well done. Have you made any money? No. You haven't even covered the commission. If you want to make 10 pips on, and the ADR dashboard is a prime example of pips. Yeah. 65 pips, 47 pips, 77 pips, 116 pips, 124, 127, 128. They're all completely different. They all move a certain amount, but if you were to take a long trade and it moves 1 ADR on the Euro odd, you've made 124 pips. If you take a long trade and it moves 100 ADR on the CAD Swiss, you've only made 45 pips. Nothing to do with money, nothing to do with account growth. Total rubbish. All these people with the signal services that guarantee to make you 1,000 pips a month. I can make 1,000 pips in a second if I trade the ZAR or Bitcoin. Yeah, pips are irrelevant. So is money. Account growth is an important thing. What you've got to do, what you've got to concentrate on is gain, growing your account by X%. If I could do this every month, I wouldn't be talking to you guys. I can't do this every month because it's hard. But you know, that's why I don't like having money anywhere on show, because it conditions you to money. Yeah, if you have a really good day, yeah, and if let's say this pushes down really, really hard, and you bank $150, tomorrow you'll be utterly distraught if you only make $50, because you know you can make $150. Yeah, percentages don't do that to you. If this pumps down now and it makes me 3%, I go, whew, brilliant. No idea how much money I've made, but I'm still only looking for 1% a day. Yeah, this is a meal out. This is a meal out in a really nice restaurant. That is just what I'm going to do every day as my job. It's just a completely different mindset. And as 90% of this job is psychology, removing the monetary element. I don't want to keep going on about it because I cover it in the bootcamp in quite a lot of detail as well. But, but I'll give people the option. If you want it, I'll stick it in there. To be honest, the red days are running down. Trevor, sorry, I missed your comment. To be honest, the only red days I've had are down to not heeding your drawdown control advice in the bootcamp. I've made every mistake you've warned of. Yeah, well, that's good. If you've made every mistake, that's good, because you've now learnt from them and you won't do them again. And if you do them again, you know what to do. You put it on your chart, so then you won't make it again. The Armand's in here at the moment. He likes that. He's got that on his chart. Not that. It's one of the ones I've had on my chart many times. Don't move my stop loss back. Yeah. Oh, it's going to hit my stop. I'll pop it up there. No. What else have I had on my chart? God, loads. I've lost count. But yeah, when you make a mistake, don't make it again. If you learn from them, you don't do them again. It makes you a better trader. If you can eliminate the things that lose you money, you will automatically make money. Yeah. Prime example, that trade. Yeah, I took a long. My stop was here. It started pushing down and it looked like it was going to go short. So I got out. Yeah. I didn't let that hit my stop. That was what I was willing to use, but I got out early. That is one of the things that made me profitable. Not actually letting it hit my stop every time. Reducing my losers. If you reduce your losers, all of a sudden you're more profitable. You got 50% less loss. If you're a break-even trader and you can eliminate 50% of your loss, what are you now? Profitable. Ta-da! It's not rocket science. It's just not what the people think about. Yeah, Diamond's just, but your timing sucks. Yeah. That's not something, I'll tell you, the one I have on my chart all the time. Oh, if I wish I could hit buttons properly. And I put this one up the other day, didn't I? It was that is the one single thing that turned me from a losing trader into a break-even trader. Wait for candle close. My EA, this one, and all my EAs, I've only got one, and this one that I'm developing, all work on candle close. Yeah. Until that candle is closed, that candle hasn't told you what it wants to do. And we've seen it many, many, many times, haven't we? Yeah. Look at this candle here. Yeah. For about 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes, that was a massive bearish candle. Everybody's going, oh, look, it's going short. Let's get short. Let's get short. And then towards the end of it, it went, ha ha, I'm a hammer. And all these short people stopped out. If they'd have waited for the candle to close, they would have gone, what the hell am I shorting this for? It's a bull candle. Yeah, that will make a massive difference. If you don't do that now, that will change your life. Trust me. Go away. Unless you're scalping. Little bit of an anomaly scalping because you need to get in faster. But still, I want to wait for candle closes. Yeah. Look where I got in there. I didn't get in when this thing was here. I was playing the opening range breakout, but I wanted to see it break out. That trade didn't work, which is fine. But I got in because the candle closed bullish, not because the candle was above the line. Big difference. Yes, dashboard percentage changed my life. When I see at least 0.5% I bank today, I'm satisfied. I'm changing to 10, 20% a month. Yeah. 10% a month, depending on your account size, 10 to 20% a month you can live on easily. It's not easy to get 20% a month. But 10% is very achievable. 10% is 0.5% a day. If you can't make 0.5% a day trading, I've got 0.2% on this trade, and I'm only like one candle into it. It's not hard to make 0.5% a day. 10% a month. If you can make 10% a month, you're doing better than 95% of traders. If you can make 5% a month, you're doing better than 95% of traders. Let's face it. Okay, scaled into the second position. And again, the EA tells me what it's doing in here as well. So you can see why I took that. It was a current bar sell stop entry, and it was added to by the EA. So whenever you click the button with this EA, depending on which button you click, it will obviously put in the comments what it was. So from an analysis perspective, when you come into your order history, you can see what you did. So if you look at your trades at the end of the month, if you've used this EA, and everything says market buy, and everything that says market buy is a loss, you know it's because you haven't used pending orders. And you've just been hitting the button before the candle's closed. Yeah. So it helps you do analysis as well as to where your weak points are, which is nice. There you go, 0.6%. Talking about making 0.5% a day. Admittedly, I've made some, but this is the thing. Over trading, yeah? And this is why in here I'm building this in. Stop trading at daily target, yeah? Over trading. If you want to make 0.5% a day, and this is your first trade of the day, hit that button, shut your charts, and go and do something else. Some days you might have to be in here for a while. until you've made that half, because you might go negative 2.5%. But when you get it back to plus 0.5, do one. For me, it's a reminder that I can't do better than just following the plan. When I see movement and want to jump in, it rarely ends well. Yeah. You've got to think of this like a job, and like any job, you've got to train, and you're going to make lots of mistakes. And then when you learn from those mistakes and don't do them again, you come better at your job. It's no different to anything else. And it's your hobby trading, obviously, then it's not, doesn't matter. One time, try scalp also, GU or EU on 1 minute, manual or using an EA, just to test ride. The problem with the pound or the euro is spread. Yeah, look at the spread. It may only say 2 points, but look at the size of that spread. Yeah, size of that spread there. And then compare it to my spread on this. There isn't one, right? The Dow. I haven't got one. I haven't got one. Forex, you've got much, much bigger spreads than indices, which is why most people scalp indices. It doesn't sound like a lot, the spread, but it adds up. And also the commission is higher. The cost of trading Forex is way higher than cost of trading indices. So my commissions are 0.07 and 0.08. On Forex, I'd be paying over $1. Well, no, not on that position size. I'd be paying, 30 to 50 cents to $1, depending on the size I get in at. So again, it's just cheaper. It's tighter spread and cheaper to trade indices. So, hi Bazang, you're from Indonesia. I want to ask about a simple strategy to make profit consistent. It doesn't everybody. Go to my website, themarketstructuretrader.com, and just go and look on the website. That is 13 years of everything I know compacted into what I know works. For me, it might not work for you. There is no such thing as a simple strategy that works for everybody. You give 10 people the same strategy, you'll get completely different results from every person that does it. Because it's not about the strategy, it's about the psychology, about the entry, and how you trade it. Third entry just taken on that. We're just coming down to the opening range low was here for the 5 minutes, but this is kind of the low put in after the opening range low, so it potentially might hit some support down here. There's nothing anywhere else on any of the other indices to be supportive at the moment, so I'm going to give this a little bit of room to run still. This is obviously a lot less correlated. The DAX is a lot less correlated than these two, and the S&P, so this will move independently, but they're all coming down nicely, so we should hopefully get some more movement down. Oh, I love it. Somebody spamming in the Telegram group. Sean, the FX guru. Oh dear. Just deleting you out, Sean. Sorry, I'm going to have to remove you completely. Bye-bye. Sean DFX Guru. And by the way, if I contact you in Telegram saying I'm going to manage your account for you and all I want is a few $100,000, it's not me. I don't do that. CAD Swiss ADR. Just tapped ADR. Strong Swiss franc at the moment, which is why we've got that pound Swiss hit as well. So again, nice level coming up down there. Nice, very nice triple bottom forming at the moment on the CAD Swiss. We're in an accumulation. We've been in accumulation for 2 weeks now, down at the lows. ADR hit. So when the Swiss franc weakens, potentially that's a nice little bounce there. Not extended on the 4 hour, not extended on the hour. Just about getting extended on M15. So potentially it's a long way. You want to get in on this really quick. So probably not the best thing in the world. I'm going to close this out at 0.7. Starting to see a little bit of wick formation on the other indices, and they've had a really, really good run down. So possibly starting to see a little bit of a pullback forming, which will obviously likely happen as well on the DAX. And then I'll look for potentially another short on the pullback. We have put in the new low now, so that was what that trade was. Remember I said the reason for this trade was we've broken that wick, we've put in a lower low, a lower high, and I will be targeting a lower low. We've done the lower low, and we're starting to see potential strength forming. Again, 31 seconds left on that candle. That was looking bullish when I got out. Yeah. If I followed my own advice and waited for that candle to close, I might see that candle close bearish. But hey. But that's 0.7 in the bank, you know. All goes into the pot. There are 3 mistakes I see myself making, Diamond says. Don't follow exposure. Not spaced enough. Entries too large. Yeah. When you've gotten into real trouble, you make 2 to 3 mistakes at the same time. Yeah, that is very, very common. Very common mistakes. I made those mistakes many times, and I still do. Although now I'm trading with the EA, I make them an awful lot less. The main thing that I used to do a lot was get in too close together. That was my big problem with position trading. And the EA really, really fixed that. Because I don't, when I start entering a position, when we get an H4 extension and I start a position, the EA just does the whole lot, and I don't actually, I get in half an ADR to an ADR apart, and I don't even look at it. So I never get in too early now. That's a massive win that was. This is still pumping down. Out a little bit too soon on this one. But we're just coming down into this support, potentially. I'm missing my Renko. It's really weird. I'm kind of looking for Renko support. I didn't see that. If we'd have been trading with Renko, I'd have seen that really easily. I'm a little bit exposed here without my Renko chart as well. Good news is I don't do this anymore, as I know I can handle something bad. Yeah, good. Afternoon, Gary. Right. A couple of weeks I'm using H4M5 mean reversion, which great for me and get in and out early compared to M15. Yeah, you can use M5, obviously. M5 will tend to get you in quicker and closer. So the ADR levels, if you're getting in half an ADR between positions, for example, M5 will get you in a lot closer to that half ADR than M15 will. And sometimes M5 will get you into positions that you wouldn't have got in with M15. So if you say, like, this was where the second entry was at ADR, at half an ADR, for example, M5, you might get a reversal alert there, and then you might get a push down and a reversal alert there, and that will get you in, or that won't get you in, rather. And then you get another one, which will get you in. With M15, what you might find is that whole move closes within half an ADR, and the EA will not get you into that second position there. And then it will pull you back here, and you'll be at break even, whereas M5 would have got you in there, and there you'd be out with an ADR profit. So M5 is actually a good time frame to use in combination with H4. But it's not something I've really tested, because I use M5 with H1, which kind of does the same thing, because most of the time when we get H4 extensions, we get the same extensions on H1. So using H1 M5 is pretty much the same as using H4 M15. If you get an H4 extension, the likelihood is you've had a big strong push on the hourly, which has got you to that H4 extension. Therefore, you might as well just trade H1 M5, and it kind of does the same thing. But if it works for you, H4 M5, do it. Keep it going. If it works, do it. So we got that rejection off the lows. Might try an aggressive buy down here. I've got 1 minute left on this candle. This level here I've got drawn in as well is the hourly support for the Nasdaq. So we're double bottoming on the Nas. We're double bottoming on the DAX. The Dow's putting in a hammer as well. So I'm going to take a quick buy. Risky one, this. Fairly decent lot size because it's got quite a tight stop on it. In fact, I'm just going to move that down ever so slightly, because just in case we double bottom on that wick. 0.5%, worth a try. And then basically trade this one back up, probably into the wick of that candle, which will be somewhere around about a 50% retracement. Actually, 61.8. So looking for a retracement back into there for a continuation leg to the downside. Obviously, this could be also the point we pop and actually do come up and test this area. Got plenty of time left today. It is Friday, though. Friday afternoons really... the doldrums tend to kick in a lot quicker on Friday afternoons. London's down the pub, and they don't come back. So we only get the New York traders. We don't get the London traders on Friday afternoon. They're usually gone home. Can you talk about risk and lot sizing? You're risking 1.5% on how big? I'm risking 0.5%. That's 0.5%, not 1.5%. On how big a stop loss? I just took a winner in S&P on 0.2 times ADR move and banked 0.08%. Well, yeah, scalping, I'm looking for very quick, small movement, obviously, on a low time frame. So I'm in and out very, very fast. This is a totally different type of trading. So this EA basically automatically calculates my lot size based on my percentage risk and where I'm putting my stop. So in this case, I'm putting the stop underneath this candle that I got in on. If I change this to pip amount, it will base my lot sizing on 400 pip stop loss. or 40 pip stop loss, 400 point stop loss. So that would have been something like a 0.4. So, your risk is per trade, right? So my risk on that breakout trade, that I took here, was my stop was all the way down here. So there was a massive stop on it, but I was still only risking 0.5%. Now, if this moved up to there and made me 0.3, I probably would have shut it, which is fine. Now this one, if this one here suddenly gets a massive bull candle like that, followed by a bull candle like that, I'm going to be moving up to here. That's going to be something around the region of 1.5% reward. You take what the market gives you. If the market gives me that, and then it goes into accumulation and then puts a spike in and puts in a shooting star, I'm going to hit the close button. And if that gives me 0.4%, that's what it gives me. If it puts in two whacking great candles, like this one, this trade I took from here, I took a short there, I took another short, and it collapsed. I moved all my stops down here. I didn't say, oh great, that's my TP here. I moved my TPs because this trade's working. So I covered it and let it run. You let your winners run and cut your losers short. Yeah? Got in there, didn't like it, cut it short. Should have got out down here. Got in here, liked it, added twice, and got out down here. Yeah? Add to your winners. Let your winners run and cut anything that doesn't look good short. Like this is not looking good, is it? At the minute. This candle's not closed yet. We've got 1.5 minutes. But if this closes a bearish engulfing, I'm out. I'm not going to let it hit my stop. I'll just take 0.2 rather than 0.5. And I might get stopped out loads. I will get stopped out. I get stopped out way more. I close my scalps more in loss than I do in profit. Way more. Because this trade's not working. If this trade was going to be a double bottom hammer, that is what I'm looking for. It should do that. It should go. If it's not going, that is not working. That's wrong. It's not working, is it? That's a bearish engulfing straight after a hammer. That's bearish. I'm out. I don't like it. I just saved myself 0.2% by hitting that close button. So you don't have to take the full stop loss. Now I would have taken a full stop, taken 0.5%. If you were risking 1% on that trade, you'd have taken 1% loss. I didn't take the full loss on it. I took a bit of it because it didn't look good. And this is what I mean by removing, that would have made me, it's twice as hard for me to make money if I hit that than it is if I hit that. Now, if this ends, right, now this candle is potentially bullish again. Bullish rejection. Yeah? So let's take a buy stop on the top of the last candle. So I just hit that button there. Yeah? Buy stop last. That puts a buy stop above the last candle. And I've said to put the stop below the last candle, right? So we're now on an inside bar. Two bullish wicks at a potential double bottom point. Yeah. If I'm wrong, and I was initially right on that, and they've just done a liquidity run of those levels, yeah, I'm going to get taken off with this. And now if this one does that, I've got it all back, haven't I? Plus some. So I'll take a chance on a break. If that doesn't do that, and that now closes down lower, I hit the cancel pending, and I've not lost anything. I've not made anything. I've not lost anything. But that's price action. If you're going long and you get a whacking great bear candle, get out. Don't wait for it to hit. Don't wait for your stop to be proven right. That's the thing. Yeah. Don't wait for you to be proven wrong. Basically, if your stop is basically your I'm wrong if it hits that, try and get out before you're wrong. And it will halve your losses. If you halve your losses, you'll double your winners. It is simple maths, but it's the hardest thing to do. Like adding to winners, which is why we've got the auto add feature. Yeah, it's hard to add. It's hard to press the buy button when you get a bull candle. So don't press the buy button. Let the EA press the buy button and let it do it. Trust it. Trust that you're right. Most of the time you're right, aren't you? Yeah. If this now goes bullish with a massive bullish engulfing, gets me into that trade and then puts another bullish engulfing in, I was 100% right on that trade. I got it right. I read the price action correctly and I was right. I just got scared out by a candle, which I got out 30 seconds before it closed. And if I'd have waited until it closed, I'd have seen it as bullish, but it still would have taken my stop, wouldn't it? So how many times have you got into a trade, got out of it, and then it's gone your way? Happens all the time, doesn't it? But this is what the market does. It just gathers stops. And if you're going to scalp with stops, you got to be used to getting out of those stops faster than when you actually get stopped out, if that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense, but I know what I'm trying to say. Get out quick. Very, very, very bullish on the NAS. Very bullish rejection on the Dow. Rahat, some brokers like ICM allow one lot minimum for indices. Hard to scalp. Yeah, don't use them, basically. Somebody contacted me on the MQL5 marketplace today about that. They were with IC Markets, and they were backtesting the EA, and they said the EA keeps giving errors. It can't take trades. That's because they will only allow you to trade in one lot increments. Yeah, so you can trade one lot. I can trade 1.01. On IC Markets, you can trade 2 lots, 3 lots. That's all you can do. It's like contracts and futures. So basically what they're trying to do is replicate the futures market. You might as well trade futures. So find a broker that does micros, like Robo Forex, Axie. There's lots of them out there. So, and nothing you can do about it. Find a different broker, basically. Trevor, too close together, too much size, too early. That's what I did last week. Yeah. See the Telegram. Yeah. Yeah, last week's squeeze, mistake after mistake. Yeah, wow. You can't see that whole chart because it's off the screen, and I can't, there's no way I can make it appear in the screen because I maximize it. But Trevor's chart basically looks like you made profit on it though, didn't you? Isn't that nice, yeah? Mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake. Made a profit out of the whole move. Love it. This is why I love position trading. You can cock it up completely and still make money. Very, 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 very few strategies you can say that with in trading, which is why I do it. So we've got 3 inside bars basically forming at the moment. Or 2 inside bars on this bullish candle. So at the moment the market is undecided as to which way it wants to go. We're going to get probably an accumulation down here, which could go on for a bit. We'll see. So we've got rejection down at the lows on the NAS. Nice decent push down. So still quite a small candle at the moment though compared to yesterday. So there's lots and lots and lots of room. So if we can break this low, there's lots of room to put in a much, much bigger move today. We may have to wait till this afternoon after lunch for the US. And if that's the case, I'll just give up today. Trevor, you made a lot of money, a lot of profit, all down to position trading. Good. It was my real eye-opener, that was, position trading. When I went through I say in the bootcamp a little bit about me at the beginning in the first video of the bootcamp and how I got all of everything I've learned. I got all my videos, my books, my PDFs, my Word documents that I've created over the years, my flashcards I've created of trades I've taken, journaling, got it all out, and I looked at everything again. And the bit I enjoyed the most was when I was learning to average in when I was stock trading, because it's made your life less stressful. And that was the first thing I adopted. I went, right, I'm going to average in. How can I average into the Forex market? And that was my highest strike rate as well, averaging in. For obvious reason, because there's no stop involved. You don't get stopped out constantly like you're seeing me getting stopped out now. Waiting for those runners. Because 80% of the time the market is doing that. Therefore, 80% of the time you're doing that. Giving your money to the market. When you catch that 20%, that's when you make your money, like I made it there. With position trading, if you get in and you get it wrong, you get in again, you get it wrong, you get in again, you get it wrong, because you know at some point the market's going to do that, because everybody that's doing that has got to do that to get out of the market. So I just came up with a way to apply that to Forex using very simple instruments, indicators, and market structure. And market structure was position trading, or as I call it, dollar averaging, as they call it in the stock industry. Dollar averaging, relative strength index, which actually I extracted from the TDI because I liked the TDI, but I didn't like the complexity of the TDI. So I grabbed the bit of the TDI I did like, which was the RSI, which is the signal line in the TDI. So I grabbed the RSI, I grabbed averaging in, and then I grabbed the part of Elliott wave that made sense to me, which was market structure, which was zigzag, that part, the bit of higher highs, lower lows, that part of Elliott wave. So I grabbed those three things, stuck them together, and that is what I've got. And that's what you're trading, basically. When you're position trading, obviously when you're scalping, I'm just trading price action. Oh yeah, and obviously the moving averages, which I got from another mentor of mine, which I adapted. They were different moving averages that he used, but the same theory of the moving averages, the institutional moving average. So yeah, it's a hash, and that's what you've got to do. Yeah, you've got to hash bits that you find together to make your way of trading, your strategy. And if mine works, brilliant. But I've tried everybody else's that works for them, and it didn't work for me. So, which is why I'm trying to do as much of this for free as I possibly can. Because if I can give you 13 years of education and all the bits that I found useful, hopefully you might find some of those and you won't have to waste 13 years trying to find them yourself. That's the plan anyway. And to get paid a bit of money along the way in the indicator sales, really. That's why I do the indicator sales. I do spend a lot of time doing this. Anyway, enough about me. This market seems to have completely died. Dollar index, we've got the move started anyway. It certainly doesn't look like we're going to do this liquidity run, does it? So maybe next week we may well just be sitting accumulating at the moment because we are unsure of what's going on with Russia. They are starting a bull move by the looks of things this afternoon, but yeah, dull, isn't it? Dull as dishwater at the moment. Got nice bullish wicks. It does look like it wants to pop. Same forming on the NAS. We are not interested in cracking that level at the moment. And again, talking about obviously position sizing, which is what Diamond was sort of saying about. If I get in now with a stop under this candle, yeah, and obviously a buy stop which goes above this candle, my lot size is going to be much, much, much larger. This is a 1.3. So it's a very high risk trade because it's a very tight stop, but it's a very high reward. If this candle turns out to be the last of these wicks before we put the next bull candle in, I'm in with a big position. And I only need one candle in my favor, and I'm in with a very, very, very nice reward on that move. So the tighter you can get your stop, obviously, the better. But obviously the tighter the stop with the same risk, the more you're going to get stopped out. But the ones that work will be massive, massive rewards. So it makes a big difference. 2.5 minutes left. We're just challenging the lows again, see if we can get some bearish action through this support. NAS looks like it wants to go. Last week they made the run in the last minutes of the US session while everyone was at the pub. Yeah, they do that a lot. Friday afternoon, actually any afternoon, you can have a bull and a bear run. Yeah, I mean, it's quite possible we'll get a move. I mean, to do an ADR in the last hour or so is quite ballsy, but I don't know. They might do. If they do, next week we're definitely buying the US dollar. Doesn't look like I'm going to get this long on. I think I'm fighting the trend here. Well, I know I'm fighting the trend here. It's just, we're obviously in a downtrend at the moment. But I was just looking to try and run the pullback off of this candle. So, and that is not the move. Get rid of those. This is what happened to me the other day. I was trying to get the short on, but I was trying to get the short on the pullback, and I missed the move. The moves are happening too fast at the minute. I'm not going to chase that. Kajien ADR. Straight off 100%. You see the difference in spread. Yeah, I mean, trying to scalp Forex pairs, you can do it. It's not a problem, but you're obviously going to pay a higher spread. That's the issue. And I'm on an ECN account with tight spreads. If you go with a non-commission based account, a non-RAW or a non-ECN account, you're going to get much bigger spreads than this. It's even harder to trade it. So Kajien hit to the low. We're down at the potential support. Next stop, 125 ADR. This is obviously in an accumulation at the minute. We're sideways. The moving averages are sideways. We've got no directional bias. So you're basically buying the bottom of the range, potentially, to go back up to the top. But be aware, obviously, money is going to scream into the yen, which will push this down if war breaks out in Russia. Well, not in Russia, in the Ukraine. All the money will pile into the yen, as we've seen all this week. War. Actually, no, we're not going to war. Oh, no, we are. Oh, no, we're not. This is where they started shelling. Yeah. So it's all like troops pulling back, shelling. Yeah, money's going to pile into the yen. Let's check the news, actually, see if there's anything new come up today. Oh, there you go. Anybody got any ideas why this has dropped? Bomb blast. ECB officials edge towards 2022 rate hike. So we've got some movement coming in. Definitely want to be shorting this. If I can get a pullback up to there. I might take a short on that. In fact, I'm going to put a sell stop. I'm going to keep it fairly broad to start with. I'm going to put a sell stop under the low there. Just have a quick look at the euros. Yeah, decent push. So got a decent push off the euro, off the back of that news. So ECB officials edge towards 2022 rate hike to stem inflation. So bullish news for euro there. That was 20 minutes ago. Swiss franc, again, when there's any issuings of conflict, money, safe havens are the Swiss franc, the US dollar, and the yen. So regardless of that news on the euro, it's getting hammered because the Swiss franc is there's money piling into the Swissy at the moment. So you'll see all the Swissies pushing. Probably not the US dollar Swiss, because US dollar is going to be pushing harder. But yeah, Swiss franc push. So euro coming down, well, going up. Yeah, massive strength on the US dollar. That bodes very well for indice drop this afternoon. Whoops. Although I don't really want to be on this one, I should really be on the Dow or the DAX or the Nasdaq. I wonder what they've done in Donetsk. I was just trying to find some more news on that. This is the problem at the minute. You're going to find there's a lot of this going on. Obviously, all the separatists in the Ukraine and any Russian sympathizers are going to be popping off bombs and things like that one that hit the missile that hit the school. Gets blamed on Russia. It's not necessarily Russia doing it. It's people wanting to get the invasion underway, or it's Russia doing things like that, and obviously trying to provoke the West. It could even be the West doing it to provoke war with Russia. We don't know who wants war with who, do we? At the end of the day, it's all cloak and dagger. But got to be careful of all this at the minute. It can work for you very, very much, but it can also work very much against you. So, can you say what you look at for news? Where did you see the Ukrainians were leaving? That's on Forex Factory. So I use Forex Factory news feed. So this is the economic calendar that I use every day, every morning, every session. I start trading. First thing I look at is news. What have I got coming up today? When is the market going to be moving? Because the market moves on news. So you need to know when the news is. So you know when the market's going to move so you can prepare for it. And then I have it sitting on the news tab, basically. So I can see when there's a market movement, I need to know if it's market manipulation or I need to know if it's a fundamental that's moved the market. And if when something like that happens and I'm expecting something to happen off the back of the news, I can prepare for it. So I'm preparing for a short because every time we get any news about Russia or any unrest that could kickstart the Russian invasion, we get a crash in the markets like we had there. We get fast moves. So you need to be on top of news, because it is what moves the market. That was the separatist leader announcing the evacuation, and then on on the US dollar and the yen, that these were the all these moves, these big spikes you see. These are the news spikes of something happening. So it's critical. You need to know about it. Didn't get that sell stop on. So just created a propulsion gap there, which we are tapping into. So bearish price action out of there. Probably enter another position. I'll probably enter my first position and assume that we're going to just pull back and go. I like EU short, plus there is a gap to fill from the 3rd of Feb. I always like Euro US dollar short. Yeah. I mean, this is always going to be a short. The US dollar is at the moment strong and strengthening. The euro is on its knees and not strengthening. They keep releasing, you get the odd bullish announcement out of the euro, but it's not strong enough. It will start to strengthen the euro. I can see it coming, but at the moment the US dollar is going to be stronger, and I can't see that stopping anytime soon. So I still think the euro US dollar is a short, and will be for the foreseeable. God, this is slow. It's very, very annoying when you just get these quick spikes, and then we have to play the slow pullback for 20 minutes waiting to get an entry. Okay, thanks. That's what I see, but I don't see any social media. I don't know. Make sure you got it streaming, obviously. I don't have a choice over what comes into my news. That is just it. So you might miss them sometimes. Quite often, like that was orange. That separatist leader was orange rather than red. I mean, with the trouble with news releases, and you will find this a lot, is they will come in as yellow, and then all of a sudden, 2 minutes later, they'll change red because they'll suddenly realise, actually, yeah, that's going to impact the market. So you kind of have to keep an eye on it. But I mainly use it not to predict, obviously, what is going to happen, because you can't do that. But when something like that happens, I use it to understand why that happened. Going short one with a pip stop. EJ, Trevor was talking about, not EU. Yeah, I mean, this has got no directional bias really at all at the minute. It's up and down and all over the place. But yeah, I would be more inclined to short as well. That's kind of filled though, I would say. That's gone. But current climate, got to be bullish yen, which means down, definitely. Got to be bullish yen. We're going to get these elevator shaft drops happening. All the while we've got this crisis looming, we're going to get these elevator shaft drops. What happens after the crisis has actually either abated or started, we don't know. I'm still confused with the yen. The yen's not acting not acting as it normally does at the minute. God, I'm glad I'm not trading futures this afternoon. This would have been painful. It's pretty painful as it is. David, I understand you. I see everything in my Forex factory. Yeah. Just don't look at the social media. So I wanted to make sure you didn't have a specific social media page now. Yeah. No, it's all the same stuff. It's just not flagged. We had something come in yesterday or the day before, I think it was. We had a big move and it was flagged as yellow. And then it literally, a couple more news events came in and it refreshed and it went red. And you were like, yeah, I completely missed it. I didn't even see it. I didn't even read it. And then when it was red, I was like, how did I miss red news? And it wasn't red when it came in. But the market reacted to it. So Forex Factory changed it to red. Which is a bit naughty because it's like, let's see what the market does. Oh, yeah, that's red news. And then they can turn around and go, hey, our red news is always reactive to the market. It's not quite the way it works. You can't change it in retrospect and then claim it was useful. But that is what happens. You know, you can't tell what's going to happen. Something comes, somebody says something, someone reacts, and then someone else reacts, and all of a sudden, before you know it, you've got the market in panic. And it's a knee-jerk reaction, which is what we get all the time. This is why we get these fades. This is why we get propulsion candle fades as well. Yeah, they fade because it's a knee-jerk. Euro US dollar is an absolute prime example at the moment. Actually, no, this is an example exactly the same. Any euro. So they announced the rates of the euro are remaining the same, which is negative news. And it went like that. And then the next day, ECB came out and said, they released a press statement and said, we think the market might have overreacted to what we said. What we meant was this. Oh, yeah. And that's what I mean by fade. But that wasn't a fade. That was an elevator shaft. But normally you'll fade those moves because people get caught on the wrong side of them. Like here, you get caught on the wrong side. The banks that get caught on the wrong side need to come up there and balance their books. So they come and fill the gaps and then they drop. It's all behind the scenes. It's all algorithms, but news algorithms, like I say, EAs, algorithms, quants, they can't read the news. They don't know what happens to the news. They can't react fast enough. So they get caught the wrong side. They get into drawdown. They have to correct that drawdown. And that's all it is. It's profit takes and market manipulation to get where they need to be to make their books balanced, to make themselves a load of money. It's all run by 10 banks. 8 to 10 banks, the big ones. They do 80% of the Forex transactions. So they are the ones that move it. So this might well be an exact... This is what I was trying to play. I've got in a bit early on this. But playing the fade of that propulsion gap. Short. The reason I'm not getting out of this one, I will let this one play to stop. Because I've got a lot more confidence in this being a wick test there. And this propulsion gap getting filled and then going bearish. Which is why I'm not screaming out of this trade on that bull candle, because I'm actually in early. Same thing playing out across the board. These will tell me whether I'm right or wrong on it probably before this one does, but the gap filled. So if this was a actual sell move, the accumulation from the sellers here will be added to, and they will push back down again. If this was a knee-jerk reaction and the wrong move, it will obviously just get corrected and go back. But you don't know what it is until it's happened. So if I get a bear candle here, I might enter another position short, and obviously have a very, very, very tight stop on it. I won't enter any more risk. I will just put the risk on at 400 pips, and then I'll move my stop manually down there just so that I don't get into a massive position. Sorry, I was just reading the Telegram group. Seems to be stalling out at the top here. Just realised what the time is. It's 4:20. We're entering the doldrums. So I think I'm going to make this my last trade of the day today, because I don't want to go crazy and overtrade and give large portions back. But this one is either going to play out or it's not. So I'm going to put a... it might stop out in a second anyway, but play on it is basically, if this doesn't stop out, I'm going with a sell stop under there. I'm going to reduce the risk down to 0.25%. So I'll have basically 0.75% on with both of those positions. And then obviously if they play out, I'll gather another one at the lows and then look for the next leg down here. If this stops out, I'm going to call it a day, because I can't really be bothered to sit here and watch this all afternoon. We're getting this. It's going the way I want it to go. I think we're going to go short today, and like I say, I think we've got more downside today. But I'm just aware it is Friday, and it does tend to be quieter on a Friday until you do get that end of day in the last couple of hours. Sometimes you get a rally or a dump. And I don't really want to sit here and babysit this. So what I think I'm going to do, that's either going to stop out or not. So if that stops out, I'm going to call it a day. If that doesn't stop out, I'm going to gather a second position, and that will either stop both of those out or it will start to work. And if it starts to work, I will just trail the stops on it by 400 points. So it stopped out. There you go. Decision made. I was going to trail the stops on it and just see how far it runs, but not really going anywhere. Can't really work out what this is doing from this move. This was a knee-jerk reaction to that news event. But they seem to have realised, actually, we don't know what that was. So it's just undone the whole thing. I think this is probably where we are going to go short from. But I'm not going to sit there and play it all afternoon. So I'm going to call it a day. I've had a really good day. I've got $1,800 in the bank. Well, I've got $1,000 of evaluation money in the bank plus $1,000 of real money in the bank. Oops. So yeah, I'm going to call it a day there, and I'll be back on Monday. But be aware of news this weekend. If you can get as flat as you can, I would recommend anything you've got on at the moment that you're holding that is either very, very close to break even or is in a slight loss or obviously is in profit. I would probably recommend banking it just in case, because if it does kick off on Sunday or any time over this weekend, we could well see massive slippage on Monday morning and also gaps. And especially do not hold anything, ideally indices wise, over the weekend, because the indices could well gap hard. Just got to be a bit careful. So try and get as flat as you can if you can. But obviously that's going to rely on some market movement this afternoon. At the moment it's slowing down quite a bit. Sunday, obviously weekend-wise, there's nothing happening. This is the 14th of February. Next week. Saturday and Sunday, we've got nothing happening. There's no real news until 8:30 Monday morning, where we've got PMIs. It's PMI week next week. We've got a US dollar bank holiday on Monday. The market is only open for half a day until 1 p.m. So you've only got a London session basically. I'll play it by ear on Monday morning. I'm not going to trade Monday afternoon. No point. There's no futures market to trade, and there'll be light liquidity. So then we've got a yen bank holiday to look forward to as well. Monetary policy for New Zealand and US dollar GDP and PCE. So yeah, fairly busy week next week. Euro early end of the week. US and Australasia mid to end of the week. So we've got some decent moves next week. And obviously it's the last week of the month. So last week of the month, it's mid-quarter. So we haven't got to worry about quarterly moves, but it's end of the month. So we'll see some decent price action Thursday, Friday as the traders are balancing their books for end of month reporting. We tend to get some decent movement towards end of month. So last couple of days of the month, we get some nice moves. So wherever we are Wednesday, want to pay attention. If we've had a big spike on Wednesday, we tend to get nice big retracements Thursday, Friday. So we'll keep an eye on what happens next week, but we have got news. So that's it for me today. So it was a bit dull this afternoon, wasn't it, the market? But I'll be back on Monday, 8:30 as usual for the London session. We'll do a full analysis of all pairs Monday morning, have a look at the news ahead, have a look at the COT report, see what's changed on that, and sort of get set up for the week. And then we'll see how we go from there. And obviously we'll see what's happened with Russia. And if something has happened, I will make a decision as to whether I'm going to trade next week or not, position trading wise, because at the moment I've got the EAs turned off. I'm not taking new positions while this is instability, because I've had a really good month and I've banked a load of money, so I don't really want to get short squeezed by the yen or the US. So I'll make a decision next week as to what I'm going to do. But obviously week after that, if war has broken out, we should have all the movement done next week, and then things should start to be as normal as they can if we've got some conflict going on. So all right, so have a good weekend, whatever you're doing, and trade safe, and I will be back on Monday morning 8:30 and hopefully see you then. Have a good weekend.